Hello and welcome to my channel. It's Monica from Crafting with Quilling Lady, and I hope you have an absolutely fabulous day. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create these floral butterfly shape cards with extra sparkle. If you like any of those cards, I hope you'll feel inspired to create something similar, like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. For all the cards today, I'm going to use this floral butterfly from Crafter's Companion, and as you can see, it has an outline, cutting die and floral butterfly. First, we're going to create a base from A4 card. This one is 200 GSM, and I'm using my scoreboard just to make sure I've got the fold exactly where I need it for my card base. And what's very unique about this cutting die is that you can create two card bases out of one A4 card. And whenever you create a card base, you always have to make sure that you leave a gap at the top so we can have a nice fold for the base. You always use low tack tape just to make sure that the die doesn't move in your die cutting machine. So our card base is done. As you can see, it is super quick and easy, and you can create really beautiful shape cards using your dies from your stash. Now I'm going to die cut the front panel and also the lacy butterfly twice from white card. And I actually stuck those floral butterfly twice because I wanted extra dimension for this project. I'm using liquid glue here for this cutting die. However, I wanted to ask you, what is your preference when you use really lacy cutting dies? What is your favorite adhesive? How do you stick them on your projects? Please let me know in the comments down below. To color in this butterfly, I chose AQUA markers Tricolor by Spectrum Noir because I wanted to have stained glass window effect. However, you can use any watercolor markers you've got, or even watercolor pencils. That's absolutely fine, or even alcohol markers, whatever you want. To add a little bit more interest to these colors here, I'm using a wet paintbrush to spread the color for a really nice color variation. And when you use aqua markers, the effect is absolutely stunning because in some parts you can have darker or lighter color, depends how much water you add. And if you make a mistake by any chance and you go over your butterfly and you have a watercolor marker on the white frame around the butterfly, that is absolutely fine. You can literally just use a wet paintbrush and a tissue to lift the color off your project, and no one will ever know. What's also good about any watercolor markers is that you can mix the colors really quickly and beautifully to get really nice blend. That's why I really like them. Have you ever used aqua markers or watercolor markers in your projects? How did you use them? Did you use stained glass window effect, or maybe use something else? In the top right corner you can also check my other video when I use different stamps for stained glass window effects. So when you use those markers, as you can see, it is super quick and easy, and actually they dry really quickly even when you add some water. So we can do our next step, and this time I decided to use metallic pen. It comes from Spectrum Noir. It comes from the set Precious Metals, and it's called Gold Nugget. And as you can see, I'm literally applying the color around the lacy butterfly because I wanted to give that extra shine to my project, and it's very gentle, but it really gives that wow factor. If you have never ever used metallic markers, I really encourage you to do it, or instead you can use metallic watercolors. That will be exactly the same. It's really nice shine, very gentle, but that it gives that really nice sparkle. With these markers, what's really good that they've got a brush nib, so you can actually go in all those small tiny pieces. Now I decided to die cut the lacy butterfly using black card, and this one is 250 GSM as well. And again, I'm applying liquid glue, and I'm going to put that black butterfly on top. What do you think about these color combination? Do you like black, bronze, and all those colors? Have you ever used that color combination? I just wanted to experiment with my colors and see what will happen. And if you have any excess of liquid glue, you can use pokey tool. To add even more sparkle, I decided to use clear overlay Spectrum Noir pen. It was brand new, so first you have to unscrew it and take off the gold ring. And then you press gently just to make sure that all the glitter goes through the pen. And now I'm going to put my panel on the card base, and using the side of the nib on the marker, I'm applying all that sparkle and glitter. In real life, it is so beautiful. I'm just so upset that the camera doesn't really catch how beautiful it is in real life. Now I decided to leave it to dry for a couple of minutes, and we can have a look at card number 2. For this one, I decided to use 4 Distress Oxide inks, and I used Mustard Seed, Carved Pumpkin, Kitsch Flamingo, and Twisted Citron. And I'm using ink blending tool to apply all those colors. And a small tip from me, whenever you add any ink blending to your project, always use a scrap of paper or tissue with the holding hand. It really makes a difference. You won't have any fingerprints on your project. So I decided to use those colors because I wanted something bright and beautiful. It is still summer, so I wanted those summer colors for my project. And here I die cut the butterfly with white card, and also the top one is white pearlescent card, and that really gives that extra sparkle. For the sentiment, I found this one in my stash. As you can see, it has some florals, but I decided it was a little bit too big, so I used my scissors to get rid of some of the flowers, and I'm going to attach it on my card. It is super simple and quick, and if you have really big sentiment cutting dies, you can always make them smaller by getting rid of some of the elements, and that will work perfectly fine for your projects. And now it is time to put our panel on the card base, and the last thing, which is the most important one, add some beautiful small gold gems that go really nice with all the gold mirror card thank you sentiment. And again, I always use my liquid glue to apply those gold gems, and yes, it really gives that wow factor to my butterfly project here. And now I'm coming back to my first card, and I'm applying thank you sentiment because the clear overlay was dry, so I could attach my sentiment. And I really encourage you to do exactly the same. If you have wet project, just leave it to dry before you apply another layer of something. And now it is time for our third card, and I'm using exactly the same Distress Oxide inks, and all the names of the cutting die, pens and Distress Oxide names will be in the description down below, so you can check them out. So this time I decided to use exactly the same summer colors, because why not? It is a butterfly, so let's do it. And this time it actually looks a little bit different than the first one, but I really like it. And yes, big tip, always clean your surface when you use Distress Oxides. And this time I decided to use that cutting die to emboss. So check your cutting die manual for the plate combination. And this one actually cut small bits, so I decided to use liquid glue and put it on the back panel, and then stick our die cut on top and then press for a few seconds. First I had to make sure that it's lined properly, and then when I turn it over, I'm going to rub gently with my finger, and I'm going to make sure that all the pieces will be stuck. And this way you won't lose any of those small bits. You see, it works absolutely perfectly fine. And to add more sparkle to the project, I decided to use some polish, and you will find the name of it in the description down below. It really gives that nice but gentle sparkle, and I really like that effect. Very simple and beautiful. If you have never ever used those, I really encourage you. You don't really need that many colors. This one is very light when you apply it on any project, and that's exactly what I wanted here. I didn't want that much contrast, just a little bit. Okay, so our project is nearly done. As you can see, you can always add more polish on the edges just to give it more dimension and extra interest to your project. So we are done. I added thank you sentiment and it is done. The camera actually caught just a little bit of sparkle on this project, and now you can see all three cards side by side, and I really wonder which one is your favorite. Have you ever used any of those techniques before, or have you ever made a shape card? If you have, what did you make? Please let me know in the comments down below. I really hope you'll have absolutely amazing day, and on the left and on the right you can also check my other videos. Bye for now! See you in the next video.